Based on the international decisions, historically, the EU is the only actor tasked with facilitation of the dialogue between Pristina and Belgrade. The EU has been there right from the start when the talks started in March 2011. And the talks are facilitated by the EU, represented by the High Representative, since the start. So there is only one facilitator for the dialogue between Pristina and Belgrade, and that's the EU, represented by the High Representative. The reactions of the EU are formulated and are based on EU views, EU's policies, and EU's relations with the partners. So again, I can explain and I can comment on the content of our remarks and our statements, but I cannot enter into speculations and comparisons and compare, like, why is one statement saying this and another statement saying this. I think the EU statement is very clear. We said that what the Prime Minister Kurti announced is a very important first step into recreating or restoring the trust which is needed to restart the dialogue. Because the dialogue is not proceeding now, it's a standstill, it's status quo which is not untenable, it needs to be changed in the interest and for the benefit both people in Kosovo and in Serbia. And this is what we see as a possible first step if it's properly implemented and followed up, and we are waiting for more information on this process, exactly how it will be followed up. But as a step, we see it as a first important step towards the resumption of restoration of the confidence and possible resumption of the dialogue, which is so urgently needed for both, for Pristina and Belgrade.
You have a follow-up for Peter? Yes, thank you.
Given what you said, is fair to expect that there will be any kind of invitation or attempt to gather parties as of March 15 then?
High Representative has repeated on numerous occasions and also in the latest statement that he is really ready and determined to play his facilitating role very decisively. I think one sign how decisive or how decisively he wants to proceed is also the decision to appoint EU special representative to deal specifically with this issue. So instead of setting artificial deadlines, we are focusing more on restoration of the trust and getting the two sides to talk to each other and to resume the dialogue. Substance for us is more important than setting deadlines or setting dates.
Thank you. Another question for Peter, I gather.
Thank you. Peter, coming back, you mentioned the appointment of EUSR. Is it clear to you that EUSR will deal only with the dialogue between Kosovo and Serbia, or with broader region, because there are some concerns in other countries in the region? As you can read in the website of EEAS, usually EUSRs are appointed for troubled regions or countries. So, I mean, for Middle East peace process, crisis in Georgia and Caucasus and so on. So is it clear, because the Commission has a role as well in the region, countries are in the process of enlargement, some of them, while it's clear that the relations between Kosovo and Serbia are not normal and need to be normalized. So, but just there is a confusion. What will be the duty of a future EUSR? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Again, this is something which still could be adjusted, changed by the member states in the process of approval. But generally, the idea is that the EUSR, that's the intention, should help High Representative in his efforts facilitating the dialogue, first of all, but also reaching out across the region to promote the EU agenda. So it's not that other partners or other countries of the region or other regions would be neglected, but it's more a broader scope of promoting the EU values and promoting the EU's engagement with the partners on their accession path. It's EUSR, so it's special representative, someone who acts on behalf, in this case, of High Representative, to support him in his work. So whatever is needed in order to achieve the goals of moving the countries closer to the EU, help them on their accession path, is also intended as a scope for the mandate of the EUSR, whereas the main accent, of course, should be the Belgrade-Pristina dialogue, because this seems to be requiring the most efforts and energy right now.
Thank you very much. I think that we exhausted questions for Peter. Hopefully we haven't exhausted Peter. I will invite now Adalbert